bro, y'all see this damn, just to go back to politics real quick. This shit, a lot of people have been like super hopeful because Tulsi got the DNI position. I'm like, yeah, I'm not really holding out that much hope for it because she got to show me that she's going to be more like the Tulsi of old rather than this Tulsi that we've been seeing lately. And unfortunately, she's proven to be more like Tulsi we've been seeing lately. And I just wanted to show y'all this because everybody keep thinking I'm an asshole because I'm like, I'm not just going to like, I'm not. See, yeah, I liked Tulsi in the past when she had politics. Her politics are shit now. So her being DNI serves nothing if she isn't the Tulsi that everyone wanted to vote for. Like, even for MAGA to like her as much as they do now doesn't make sense in my opinion, because the majority of MAGA that liked her from 2020 liked her because of the policies that independent leftists supported, like her anti-war stances, her willingness to rage against the intelligence community and call them out, her anti-censorship policies, right? Like, all the things that we liked about her, they like, and that's where we kind of met in the middle. And if you're going to be like every other neocon, like, fuck is the point of you being DNI at that point? So listen to her response when she's asked, what is the greatest threat to Americans?
Biden once said that white supremacy was the single greatest terrorist threat to our homeland. What do you feel is the greatest threat to the American people's safety?
We look at the last 4 years of open borders, where we had tens of millions of people come across our borders, many of whom we don't know who they are or what their intentions are. And very specifically, the threat of radical Islamist terrorism here within our country is higher than it's ever been before, not only because of President Biden's open borders, but because of his and his administration's fear of being called Islamophobes. They took their attention and our resources away from that threat and once again pointed it at our fellow Americans.
What? Come on, bro. What the fuck? What is that incoherent bullshit? Y'all, ladies and gentlemen, y'all think that there's a bunch of Islamic terrorists right now just waiting at the Mexican border, just waiting to just come into the country? Like, that's the biggest threat. Is that really the biggest terrorist threat, ladies and gentlemen? It isn't like the white Christian radicals that literally go on shooting sprees. Go on fucking shooting sprees, guys. Just y'all know, people always tell you in Brazil, just as a comment, be careful, because you never know, right? You never know. You know what I never have to worry about when my kid goes to school? I never, once in my goddamn life, never, in the 2 or 3 years my son has been in school, have I ever thought to myself, damn, man, I hope somebody doesn't walk into the school and shoot it up because some vendetta. I've never had to worry about that, not once. Like, damn, man, I know there's a kid in school who practices, this African religion, man. I hope this Christian white kid doesn't come up and start shooting up everybody. I've never once had that thought in Brazil. Not once. You have to have that fear every single day in the U.S. And let's be clear, whenever there's some Islamic extremist, quote unquote, who's apprehended before he does it, it's usually because they were planted and the FBI pretends like they did their job. Like, let's be real. We all know how that goes. But the United States is more likely to fund Islamic extremism than to stop it. Hell, I just did a hotspot video today about that. I'm like, the fact that Trump is screaming about those billions of dollars of weapons and things like that, he wants them back from the Taliban. In my mind, I'm like, why the fuck? Why is your shit at my crib? If that's what I'm thinking, if I'm the Taliban, why do I got to give your shit back? Why was you in my crib to begin with? Did I invite you here? I don't remember inviting you. You broke into my crib. You left your toys in my room. So yeah, I'm playing with your toys. And I might have posted a YouTube video about, playing with your toys. But they my toys now. You shouldn't have left them in my crib. Why the hell were you in my crib to begin with? How are you going to complain and be mad that somebody else got your weapons because you were in a place you weren't supposed to be at anyway with those weapons? people get so mad and they fearmonger about Islamic extremism like it could exist without the United States. Like, I'm talking about the form of Islamic extremism that leads to militarism and literal attacks. It literally would not, like y'all know, like actual Islamic extremism was literally invented by the United States. I'm not joking. That is not hyperbole. It was literally invented by the United States. And then we sent extremists into countries where we didn't want to fight directly or engage directly with the enemy. So they do our dirty work for us. That's facts. You're like, oh man, open borders, Muslim, Islamic. What the? Come on, bro. Really? This is why it's like, how am I going to be hopeful for this? How am I going to be hopeful for this? Because to me, it's like you're ready to go to war with whatever. You're ready to believe with whatever intelligence you get about whoever, as long as they label that person an Islamic extremist. That's what it sounds like to me. That's the same excuses they use to wage war and send troops and overthrow governments in a lot of these countries. How did they think about how they overthrew Assad? Why do we even have troops in Syria? Because they said that we were there fighting the Islamic extremists, supposedly the same enemy that Assad himself was fighting, supposedly. But somehow those Islamic extremists end up trying to achieve the same goals that the United States was trying to achieve. And then, oh, what a surprise. Somebody from one of those terrorist organizations ends up in charge. And the U.S. doesn't try to overthrow that person. Not the actual Islamic extremists. They overthrow the person who's trying to fight the Islamic extremists. And Tulsi, by the way, has had nothing to say about that. Like, if you're so upset about Islamic extremists and the threat that they present to the United States, why haven't you talked about the fact that we have an Islamic extremist as the president of Syria that we're just letting slide as he lets Israel literally rape them for all their resources? Set up military bases, rob them, kill them. Why Tulsi hasn't said anything about that? I can't deal with this shit. Like, it's so beyond all of it. Like, other than the fact that it exposes her personal bias against Muslims, I already understand the whole Hindu-Muslim beef. I got it. Whatever. That's still not when you know better, that's no longer an excuse. But like, this is just intellectually lazy, bro. Why does Marco Rubio sound more coherent on foreign policy and international relations than Tulsi does? When the reason that you're even in this position is because everybody had admired you for the way you approach international politics and diplomacy. And you out here talking some biggest threat, the biggest terrorist threat is their Biden administration was scared to be called Islamophobic. What? The Biden administration was scared to be called Islamophobic. That is your take, guys? Come on, bro. That's your take? Okay, hold on real quick. The same administration that literally funded the genocide of an entire group of people, majority Muslim, they're scared to be called Islamophobic? Really? Really? Come on, bro. It's like, nah, you're an Islamophobe. Oh, like Christian said, yeah. You're an Islamophobe, and you don't fear being called an Islamophobe because, well, you're actually an Islamophobe. You embrace that shit. You don't mind it. And people are like, well, no, she's just talking about the extremists. Like, but damn, you're always talking about the Muslim extremists, but you're never talking about, especially in this particular case, when we're talking about a threat to the American people, terrorist threats to the American people, ladies and gentlemen, who have terrorized more Americans in the United States than white Christians. And okay, if that's the case, why haven't you brought that up? It's the fact that you always focus on this particular group. And you never bring up the other group. Hell, I would even be able to entertain an argument that says there is a chance that Islamic extremists could penetrate the United States borders and wreak havoc because of the actions that are taking place by the United States and the way that we've propped them up and financed them and funded them and have given them cover in order for them to do our bidding. There could be a negative impact that happens because of that is felt by the American people. I would buy that argument. But you're like, nope, open borders, scared to say Islamophobia. Oh yeah, those white Christians that be killing the shit out of everybody, shooting up schools, shooting up movie theaters, shooting up clubs. Yeah, we're gonna just not even mention them. Come on, bro. That's why I can't have no faith. Like, I know people want to have faith in her. I can't have faith in her when you saying dumb shit like that. It's incoherent garbage. It's gibberish. You bruh. It just like, you just sound like what I thought Marco Rubio was gonna sound like when he took his position.